So in this video we're going to be building the TTcombat HGV Truck. Just a quick spin around of what it looks like. So yeah, skip over to the build section now. So as you probably saw at the end of the build video there, this cab did not go together quite well and I had to take it all apart and just rebuild it, which is why I just paused the camera, just because it was easier to fiddle around with things and make it work. Turns out it's just this base plate here. Took the door off because the doors aren't hinged at the moment. This thing was, I just flipped this round and it went together, it was just a bit off centre, so it was pushing this side wall out, which was making the whole cab not wanting to go together. Obviously I will be hinging the doors. I'm going to fill that gap in and build an interior. Obviously you'll also notice I didn't build this fully attached. Oh no, it doesn't want to detach. This is so I can take it off and obviously use this as a flatbed. I'll probably use some diamond plate and just put a piece of diamond plate over the top of this, which you'll see later on in the video. Just so I can use this as a conventional cargo truck or a, flatbed. I will have to also redo these. This is the solid axles that they do for these kits, which are a bit of a pain, as you saw in the video, to put on. So yeah, I will be putting an axle on these. I was kind of hoping these were double wheels, can't take the one off the front, but like they are on actual trucks, but they're not, unfortunately. So I may switch these wheels out if I can find a set that'll work. I'm not too sure if I can though, because most of the wheels in my bits box are for 124 scale cars, and these are a bit smaller than the 124 scale. But anyway, I'm going to go away, put some hinges on the doors, build an interior, probably come back, talk some more on some of that, put the diamond plate on the back, maybe rig up some fuel tanks here on the sides, maybe even put some exhaust smokes on the back, so they're covered when the van tops on the back, just like you see on a lot of flatbeds. You have the exhaust stacks that go up, but yeah, so I'll see you in the next bit. So here we are with the finished truck. As you can see, it's had a lot of modifications since the last time we've seen it. Now usually I'll do the modifications and then do a walk around of what I've modified and then paint it and then do the final video, but getting a hold of some seats and some steering wheels for this thing, because of the current circumstances, postage is being slow, as well as ordering from certain places and they're not having stock and having to reorder from other places and such. It's just been a bit of a carry on, so I just decided to paint it whilst I was waiting. Because as you can see, the others I've got there, I hadn't ordered them yet, so I couldn't start on any of the other stuff. And I'm trying to build all of these vehicles for the zombie animation that I keep going on about. So I've got a few more to build, and then I can get crack on with the zombie animation, as well as some zombies to paint. But I'll do a proper update for that later on once I've got most of, or if not all, the props done by that point. Anyway, back to this. So I noticed it didn't have a front bumper, so I shot one on. I still didn't really have any silver paint, so I used some Humbrol enamel paint that I had left over from years ago. Just found my old paints from childhood and basically painted that on. Enamel paints, if you don't know, they're a lot different from the acrylic paints that I usually use. I'm not really an expert in the paint, but the difference between enamel is usually it gives you a better finish, but it takes a lot longer to dry. I think it's like 24 hours. Although I've known some other model builders I watch leaving models a week to cure for the paint to go just right and then still going wrong, which is just why I was like, I ain't bothering with enamel paints anymore. Forget that. Give me the acrylics that dry in 15 minutes. They might not have the best finish, but if they dry in 15 minutes, I'm a lot happier than waiting a week and then it possibly going wrong. I'd rather know in 15 minutes if it didn't go that well, because sometimes when you paint something, the paint goes funny. Which is why I was like, nah, I'm getting out an enamel paints. But yeah, having no paint, I just had to use what I had at hand. So yeah, I painted the silver and enamel and acrylic paints don't mix. So if you ever try and mix, I'd say use the enamel paint over the top of the acrylics, because there's no way you're going to paint acrylics over the top of enamels. Which is why it's still a bit patchy here and there. At some point I probably will have to fix this up, clean this up a bit more, but I think it's clean enough for now. Another thing I did is I took away the rear wheel. Initially there was two sets of rear wheels. I just glued them together and made a thicker rear wheel here. I was trying to do a dual, like a set of dualies at the back, but these wheels are already wide enough with two wheels glued together, as you'll probably just see. I'm not too sure it's going to pick up on the camera how these are sticking out, so with the space between the two wheels, they stuck out a lot more. Another bit of styrene for a bumper at the back. These doors open, although they are stuck in a bit of a paint to get open because I don't have any fingernails, so I'll have to take the top off and show you. Fortunately, this door hinge has just been a bit of a pain. Don't know what I've done, it just does not want to close, so I'm going to have to rip it off and redo it at some point. But again, I don't want to rip it off because I'll have to repaint the whole side and chew about, and I kind of want to film a few animations with this thing before I start tearing it apart and perfecting it again. As usual, we've got a Halo figure and a Call of Duty figure inside. It's a bit snug in there for these two, but it works. Actually, I'll pop the doors open and show you. Pop the roof off. I always leave the roofs loose so I can put figures in there, and eventually when I'm animating with these things I can animate the inside. So again, there'll be a slideshow at the end so you'll get some better pics of the inside. And just tip it up a bit. As you can see, here goes for the windshield. It's a bit snug in there, but it works. Pop back off. I did say, like I said, take the back off and have it so I can turn it into a flatbed. One of the problems I figured out of turning this thing into a flatbed is unfortunately the rear section here, this flatbed, isn't that big. And so there's not really much you can put on the back of this. But it does work well with the Call of Duty containers. So if you didn't pick up the Halo truck or the Call of Duty truck, and I think they're about 100 quid each now, this is a good alternative. It's nice and cheap. Again, you don't have to do what I've done. I've obviously modified this a bit. I've made the doors hinged, made the axles work so the wheels spin. If you just want to build this as stock, like it comes on the site, and then just plonk Call of Duty container crate on the back, you can, and it works well. Again, in the slideshow there'll be some pictures of that. So that pretty much does it for this. Overall, I'm quite happy with the way it turned out. Just obviously some delays here and there because I've had to wait for pieces, but it worked out well. As you can probably see in the background, I've got the other two here, which I'll quickly talk about. We've got the garbage truck, and then the ambulance, if the camera wants to focus. Also got the SWAT truck here. Going to talk a bit about this. I am going through these and obviously going seeing if they work, but unfortunately, as you can probably tell, this thing is tiny. I don't know why, but the SWAT truck and the armoured truck are just tiny. So I won't be really doing a video on this. I'm just kind of using this video as the backdrop to talk about it. For some reason, this thing is just so small. I don't understand. All the others have been perfectly well skilled for fitting with the Mega Construx stuff, so they'll work well, but this thing's just tiny. So I'm probably not going to make a video on this or the armoured van, because I haven't bothered with it, because it's the same exact model except from the logos are different. Still not too sure what I'm going to do with this. It might work with Lego scale, but I haven't animated in Lego forever, so I don't know if I'll ever get around to finishing it or if I'll just sell it as it is. But I guess we'll find out in the future. And as you can see, I've got the garbage truck and the ambulance to paint. I am also buying another taco truck and doing it up as a taco truck, but I haven't got that one in the post yet. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stick around for the slideshow for some better images of the truck, and I'll see you in the next one of these. See ya.